Well, as I say, those first quarter numbers coming through, and looking at production numbers right at the top. I mean, we've had output at all of your operations increase significantly, with the average gold produced up 18%. Up enough as you would have liked to leverage off that higher gold price and weaker rand?
Alishia, yes, thanks for the opportunity. I think a stunning performance by all our operations, particularly if you think of our Buffelsfontein operation, where we have closed our surface treatment operation, which contributed 76 kilograms in the previous quarter. So, you know, achieving an 18% increase in production overall, a sterling achievement, and that precisely during a period where we have a spectacular rand gold price.
Yeah.
So I think a very solid set of results.
Just how sustainable and upside momentum are we looking at in these production levels, Marius?
Alishia, certainly not, I think, where we believe the operations can still operate in terms of future upside. These obviously starts from a reasonably low base at Buffelsfontein. Taolekwa had a very good quarter at 928 kilograms for the quarter. But we believe that there is still potential to increase our production numbers at all of our operations. You may have seen in terms of the results that we forecast pretty similar numbers for the December quarter, but we are working on initiatives to then increase production in going forward. It will not be substantial increases. I think a lot of work has been done to ensure that we maintain these sort of levels with slight increases in future.
Marius, at what cost is always the big question. So let's drill down into cash costs and what it's costing the business to access higher production levels at this stage, because that cost factor has been working at offsetting some of the upside of that rand gold price.
Yeah, Alishia, certainly in our case, we have had a very good quarter at Taolekwa at a cash cost of about 234,000 rand a kilo. So very sustainable. We believe that we will come in the December quarter at numbers slightly higher than that, but mostly as a result of some costs we're incurring to ensure that the increased production levels could be achieved in the March and June quarter of next year. Buffelsfontein, we expect numbers to come in slightly lower than in the current quarter, as the benefit of the restructuring program comes to the fore in the full quarter, where we only really received that benefit for the sort of 1 month during the September quarter. And at Consolidated Murchison, we expect similar sort of numbers for the December quarter, mostly as a result of the impact of the 17 shifts that we lost due to the strike action in the early part of October.
Let's run through some of this restructuring. I mean, you mentioned the restructuring that we're seeing in Buffelsfontein specifically. We've also disposed of a 19.79% stake in First Uranium to Anglo Gold, and you've recently entered into this exclusivity agreement in relation to the potential acquisition of Blyvoor from DRD. Take us through your business strategy right now, Marius.
Alishia, as we've sort of indicated from day one, we believe that we can buy assets at a reasonably good price. These are most likely going to be assets that's either been neglected, difficult, or undervalued in the hands of the current owners. We believe we can then add some tender loving care to those assets, give them the sort of attention and management input that they require, and make them worth more, and then sell them or unlock value for our shareholders in some form and give that back to our shareholders. as soon as we can.
Well, one can only assume that you're providing that tender loving care to the Blyvoor operation specifically. You've said that you're investing anything up to 150 million rand for that 74% stake. It's been somewhat of an Achilles heel with DRD Gold. How soon before you see the impact of that transaction and the benefit actually filtering through to the bottom line? Because the settlement that was reached over your dispute with Aberdeen International, which resulted in a $9 million final settlement, is not reflected in these numbers, and that's going to be a negative on your bottom line down the line.
Alishia, I think what we need to just put in perspective is that the $9 million settlement is in relation to a long-standing dispute over a loan portion with Aberdeen, and the settlement that we reached will require us to actually spend the cash on that very quickly. So by the end of the December quarter, we would have spent 56 million rand in that order on settling that $9 million liability. Yes, and it will have some impact in terms of our available cash flow during the December quarter. But at these sort of production numbers and cost base, we will still be generating substantial cash, particularly given where the gold price is at the moment.